And we're live. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the workshop number 223. This is a comedy safe space, so you can say whatever you want. I'm not going to tell your parents. The order is going to be Sunes, DC, then Bad Brad. So, Sunes, you're up first. Let me know what your topic is and when you're ready to begin. I will start your time.
Awesome. The password is caution. All right. Caution. Yeah, actually, caution. I was just this morning dancing. Okay. So my darling and I were listening to Green Day this morning and dancing and kind of like jumping up and down. And I don't know why nobody gives us a little caution about these things. But as I was, you have the time, broke the living room floor. I literally heard the floor go crack. And I could suddenly feel cold winter air go coming up from underneath my feet. And I just thought, how come these living room floors don't come with a caution? Like, do not dance to Green Day. Do not have a rave while we're while dancing on hardwood floors. Or maybe I should have listened to my doctor's precautionary tale of maybe you should lose some weight. I don't know which one could come first. But you guys were talking about raves this morning, so I thought that was kind of hilarious. Caution is a big part of life. I don't find myself to be a person who throws caution to the wind so much, but the wind definitely swept me off my feet this morning. Caution. Here's the thing. Okay, so exactly a year ago today, I was driving in the streets of New Zealand, and the roads are narrow, they're hilly and windy with plenty of sharp corners, and there's really only one route that connects one town to another. And so navigating and driving in New Zealand is not so difficult until you see the caution signs. Caution. Falling rocks ahead. I mean, by the time you notice a falling rock, you're going to be smashed. I mean, it doesn't matter how cautious you are. What you going to do? Keep looking up? No, because you got to keep your eyes on the road because the next sign says, caution, curves ahead. Looking up for a rock. Off the ledge of the mountain, which is literally how the roads are in New Zealand. And there's two types of caution. I mean, there's two types of caution. There's one caution that you can avoid, and it's nice because it's not a trap. It's a courtesy. Like, caution, slippery floor. You see the sign, you're like, okay, I'm not going to run through this McDonald's. And caution number two, it just happens. I mean, you can't do anything about it. Caution is an I told you so kind of sign. I mean, caution doesn't protect you. It just protects the person who put up the sign. So that person doesn't have to take responsibility. And it's usually the government. And they say you got to be cautious. And then they say you got to take precaution because you're going to have to be cautious. And then there's a sign that says caution. So now you know your precautions would now be over. And now you're into your cautions. It's like they should have had a different variation of the stoplight. So the stoplight has the red light, amber light, and the green light. Green is go. Amber means caution. Red means stop. But if there's a precaution light, what color is that? I just got to know. I mean, maybe we'd be better off with like those Mach 5 racing signs where they beep, 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 beep. That's what we need at every stoplight. Yeah, I was snacking. Obviously, the girl who falls through the floor was snacking. No, I'm only snacking now because because I'm proud to say after 2 years of intermittent fasting and losing 0.0 kilograms, and for those of you who live in America, you just multiply that times 2.2 and that's how you calculate how many pounds that is. It still equals 0. That's a little hint for American math. After losing 0 kilograms, I have stopped intermittent fasting and I've started eating for the first time in 2 years / 20 years. But I got this pack of peanuts, and on the back of the peanuts it says, warning, may contain peanuts. May contain peanuts? May contain peanuts? It says peanuts. Like, what kind of warning is that? It's like, it's like this milk container, warning, contains milk. Like, oh, okay. So we go to the pet shop, get a cat. What does it say? Like, this is a cat, may cause cat allergies. I mean, how do they even label the cat like that? Do they shave it into its fur? Do they give it a tattoo? Do they put a clip in the ear? Uh, at what point is it ridiculous that we start labeling things with so many cautions? Like, okay, this is a cow. You know, you got to stop here before caution may cause lactose intolerance. Like at the cow. So yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at today. Oh, you know, in Japan, we have this thing. It's called ore ore sagi. Ore sagi is the it's me fraud. Let me explain a little bit about. Let's go back. Okay, so here we go. In Japan, we have 3 types of alerts. We have a warning alert, tsunami is coming. We have the keep a lookout alert, which means some old man left his house at 8 a.m. this morning and his family hasn't seen him and it's 5 p.m. and he's wearing brown pants and a yellow shirt and a bowler hat. Please keep a lookout for this guy so we can direct him back home again. And the third alert, which is a caution alert. And this alert sounds like bing, 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 bing. Ore ore sagi. And this is, they announce, please be cautious because someone may call for an it's me fraudulent phone call and try to take you and swindle you for all your money. So I thought, like, this little caution comes across our intercom across the entire city and it echoes across. Bing, 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 bing. Ore, 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 ore. Sagi, 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 sagi. And I stopped by my police box and I asked, you know, how often do old people get swindled by these it's me phone calls? And they say, well, every day. Every day. Someone calls up these old people and they telephone the elderly pretending to be a relative in an emergency situation. Send me money now. And these old people are like, who? It's me. Who? It's me. Who? It's me. I'll send you as much as you need. And they send them the money. Now that will never happen to me because I can't have children. So of course, that is the one benefit of not having children is I will never be victim to the scam until one day I pick up the phone. Meow. Meow. You can have as much money as you need, kitty cat. I'll send you whatever you need. So that's a scam and fraudsters. Caution, do not pick up the phone with it's me. Unless it's me, then you can send me as much money as you like. Thank you. My PayPal is Sines@Sines.com. Thank you.
Hey, sweet. Awesome. You guys have any feedback?
Do you have feedback and all that randomness there?
Yeah, 7 minutes, 18 seconds, and 40 hundredths of a second of randomness.
I should have given you a caution. I have no idea how long this stuff is. It's just things that scribbled down in the beautiful mind map.
I don't really have any like proper feedback, but the only thing I would mention for me, I guess maybe my brain doesn't work so fast, but for me it was hard to find the time to laugh because you were right into the next bit. So you were like continually, your momentum was very intense, I found.
Intense?
Yeah. I don't know, for lack of better words, but I felt like maybe a strategic pause here and there so that we could fully appreciate your humor. Because a lot of it was pretty funny, but then I had to stop myself so I could pay attention to what you were saying again. So I don't know.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, it's just on top of Brad. It's just because I know that you're a rapid fire with a punch, and some of the punches are quick. And if I'm familiar with you, so I get it. There's certain bits that I have never heard before. It's like, okay, how is she playing with that word? So that delay is something I would need to appreciate the joke more. All right. So on top of what the Brad was saying, it's just adding those pauses is I think would allow me to follow you even more rather than just trying to figure out what did she just say just now? Okay, and then she's on the next one. Then again, we're guys, so we think slower. I'm just saying. Okay, maybe it's genetic. Maybe a room full of women would be like, yeah, they get it every single second. I'm just saying, as your immediate audience, I found it a bit fast to follow every single punch because I'm trying to catch up with the last one they had. Makes sense?
Awesome. I love the fact that you actually thought I had punchlines in there. Thank you.
Well, it's the well. I mean, well, not the traditional punch, of course, but just the certain parts, the certain laugh points. I know exactly that you intended. It just takes a second to register, and that's where I was like, yeah, this is funny. But let me get a breather first of what you just said before we go into the next one. All right. So, otherwise, no, just heck, I got to go after you, and that sucks. I hate going after you. I hate it.
Okay.
Oh, your stuff is always fun. I love hearing it. Thank you,
Yeah.
DC. Bilal.
Yeah. The part about the road signs, like driving on there and it's saying like caution falling rocks and caution curves ahead. It reminded me of that time I dated that crack whore. No, I'm kidding. But if you want to use that one, you can have it.
Over the time I dated the cracker. Actually, I found out this morning. My darling, my husband. He studied in New Zealand, which is ergo why I'm driving on New Zealand roads. It turned out he was. How do I say this? He was making and dealing speed in university.
Mm.
Well, okay. Wait. Hang on. Let me take that back. They were teaching their students how to make speed and
Wow.
sell
What is
it to
speed?
their clients. So basically, back in the early 1990s, like amphetamine, I think that's what it is, DC, right? Amphetamine and
Yeah.
caffeine were known to be weight loss stimulants, which apparently doesn't work for me falling through the living room floor. But I don't take that, don't worry. But we were talking about this, and he's like, yeah. So they gave us the recipe, and part of one of our classes was to make speed, which we didn't know was speed back then. We just knew amphetamine and caffeine, according to the academic research, was proven to support women with obesity in losing weight. This is something I just found out this morning. So Bilal, when you're talking about the crack whore, yeah, apparently in the 1990s, they were teaching university students studying personal training and physiotherapy to make speed.
Make speed.
That's a caution story there.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you think?
If you're gonna make
Isaac
it-
Newton?
I'm surprised they didn't add that into the caution story, because that's like, that's.
That's why.
I was like, yeah. Before you sell speed, these are some things you need to know about the government. All right, I don't know. That's just adding on, just a little tag on top of what you did just now. But yeah, that's interesting. That would be another tangent. I don't know.
Literally happened before I came up here. I was like, what?
Okay, there you go. So it missed the window. That
You
story
just-
missed the window.
You just snitched
Yeah,
on
it's
him
at
in
the
front
top
of
of my
the
mind.
whole
I'm
earth.
choosing it too. What's that, Bilal?
You just told on him in front of everybody.
No, it was totally legal because this is what they were teaching in the university. They didn't realize it was speed. They just thought that amphetamine and caffeine was. I saw it in the academic journals. He was like, "Look it up. Here it is." And there you go. This is what they were teaching kids. Kids back when he was a kid in his 20s. Back in the day in the 90s, they taught kids how to make speed in university. Yeah. So they'd send them to the drugstore and say, please buy these ingredients and, Sudafed and caffeine, and please make this concoction. And then
okay,
please
so-
go try it out on your, as you're doing your rounds and you're doing because the thing his first degree was in fitness, something, blah, 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 and nutrition and yada, yada. And they're like, please try this out on your clients.
Well, you're in Japan, right?
Yeah, I'm in Japan now. Yeah.
Fuck, I thought you said Mexico for some reason. Because in Mexico, they have those those paper walls. They had been like, what if they had paper floors too, and that's why you fell through it? You know, they have like those paper walls in Mexico with like the
Japanese.
oh shit, you got some imported. Nice.
You mean like
Got
my
some-
whole entire house is made of paper walls?
Yeah, that's how they do the floors like that. That's why you fell through it.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Or if they
Yeah,
you
I
know
know
how
our
they
walls are made of paper, but I never imagined our floors were made of paper too. Paper mache. Like
So next,
Yeah, or-
the fact. Sorry, go on.
oh my bad.
No,
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say
Bilal.
one last thing. You know they do those massages where they walk on your back. Like, what if to train they like train on just super thin floor? Maybe that's where it came from. You know, like super thin floors. You have to tiptoe everywhere. Make sure you don't hit a weak spot.
Yeah. That's how I feel like walking around the downstairs of our house. Like our house is turned into patchwork. Yeah. DC is like,
Hey,
God, you know, you went from living in a car to living in a house that has holes in
well,
the
Celeste, you're talking about breaking through the floor because I always thought about like what on earth did you do with your cat, right? And right off the bat, you talk about breaking through the floor, and the caution about it in terms of, well, no wonder stuff is breaking down with earthquakes, right? I mean, if you were just dancing in a Japanese home and you break through that, you're up shit screet the moment that you have a 3.8 Richter scale in Japan.
Mhm.
So I don't have no longer any sympathy for Japan now. Now I just have the feeling, just the sympathy for the fact that I have shitty building codes, and you're living in a house that has a shitty building code. I'm just saying, right? Cautions you if you're going to build a house in Japan, don't trust the codes. So I just in that whole dancing and falling to the floor. I was thinking you should be shitting on the builders or that. And then secondarily, of course, you mentioned your weight, which no man should ever comment on if he's thinking about he's good.
DC's
No
like,
trained
I'm
husband.
not going to mention anything about the weight. No.
Yeah, but your
You're
cat is
talking about-
judging you.
Yeah,
I
my cat.
think we found the culprit.
I think the earthquake code is really good. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yes,
said
it-
no wonder Japanese women are all thin. It's because you have to be, because like you have to balance out the weight between you and your husband. You know, how many people can stand in the living room at the same time? And I figured out why babies always dance like, they bounce their knees, but they never take their feet off the floor. They're just like, yeah. They dance like this because they know that they're going to fall through the floor.
It's so safe. It's so safe. It's so safe, mom. Because the last house broke through. Like it's so safe.
Yeah, like people
Chicken
worried
safety.
about glass ceilings. Like, can't even get past the floor. Any more
glad-
feedback, you guys?
Oh man. And that literally happened this morning because you guys are texting like, wow, we get the link so last minute, like it's a secret rave. And I'm like, wow, we were having a rave this morning.
Timing was good.
You guys thought I should
Yeah.
send the link earlier?
No, I think
all good.
I'm used to it. I'm used to you sending everyone here sending the link 15 minutes before. Thank
Okay.
you.
I mean, you can change it if you want. I'm just-
Felt
For
like
like-
my bad.
Style and flow with all that. I'm so glad I got to do that. Thank you.
Send it at 6 a.m. All right, sweet. We should move on then, I guess. DC, you're up next. Let me know when
All
you're ready
right.
to begin what your topic is, and I will start your time.
All right. Well, my topic is salt. And it took me a while to grind this joke out. So no pun intended. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that one. Okay, that's the only dad joke here. So yes, salt. Just for the record, it looks like cocaine, but it's ain't cocaine. Total different taste, total different smell. In fact, at one point in time in history, salt had, if not more value than today's current cocaine. Salt back in the day was yesterday's cocaine, years ago, centuries ago. In fact, countries, empires went to battle because salt was so revered, was so valued. That's how serious the shit was. I mean, you thought cocaine was heavy. Companies and countries were warring because of salt. I mean, the early salt dealers, can you imagine, Roman days, they had drug dealers. I'm sure they had salt dealers back in the day, sitting on corners, just dealing salt the same way that people deal crack and rock nowadays, right? Some guy in early Roman days early Italy. Say, yo, man, I'm selling. I got a dime jar for 20 because it's more plastic, right? They didn't make plastic back in those days. Jars. Moment comes up. Yo, hold second, man. Centurion's rolling up. Flee. Let's get her. Let's get her. Because Centurion's with the police. So, fact is, I shouldn't have to explain Centurion's for the police. Nonetheless, shit.
Centurions.
Yeah. So, and thank goodness, though. Can you imagine if they ever found out that salt came from our bodies? Because now that's a unlimited resource. I don't think anybody figured this out 1,000 years ago that our body naturally produces salt. Because if they did, that pity the fat person, the person who has a glandular problem, who's sweating all the time, they'd be like a human salt lick being chased by people all the time because they didn't get a high off of salt. Whereas Theroco came back in the day. I mean, can you imagine, man? And people caught on to this. They found that one person, that one Theophilus. Hey, there's Theophilus. Hey, let's see if we can try to make him sweat, man. Hey, Theophilus, do you want to go for a run? I think you need to go for a jog. All right, hey, Theophilus. Dude, man, try on these sweats. I know it's a bit thick, but you look good. Add another layer. Or Theophilus, man. Hey, listen, why are you sweating? Why are you sweating? I mean, just thinking that, man, people just trying to get their fix on the salt. I mean, yeah, getting licked by one or two people, that's erogenous. But getting licked by a whole village, okay, that's beyond kink. I mean, poor guy's thinking, man, I was asking for an orgy. This is not my idea of an orgy. This is no longer fun. This is not part of my fantasy. I'm out of here. This should not be this. This is no longer sexy for me. All right. So, salt. So here's how valuable salt is. And even right now, salt makes undesirable food taste great. Food that should taste like shit, you add salt to it, it's palatable. Folks, I hate caramel. Caramel is shit to me. But you add salt, you got salted caramel. Now I'm thinking, hey, you know what? I could possibly put this on my eggs in the morning. I'm good with this. Okay, basically, now it turns into my new form of ketchup. I'm just saying, salt is versatile. You can use it anyway. It makes shit turn into chicken salad. If you ever smell food that smells like shit, salt's not going to make a difference. Just saying, for the record. But that's the new narcotic, right? New narcotic was salt back in the day. And this isn't before cocaine. So can you imagine the roles are switched, which now, instead of people being afraid of salt, people being afraid of cocaine, people are afraid of salt. You can imagine if salt was seeing the exact same threat. Scarface would have a totally different type of ending. Some Cuban guy face down in a white full amount of salt all over his face and eyes. He's got croutons and cupcakes and pretzels on one side as well too, because when you have salt, you gotta have something carby, right, to balance it out, right? So yeah, Scarface wouldn't look as deceiving. He'd probably be overweight as well too. All right. The only similarity between salt and cocaine is the fact that both claim disproportionate amount of Black men's lives. We're either dying from crack or hypertension, one or the other. We could have actually been drinking, instead of Coca-Cola, we probably could have been drinking soda cola. I'm just saying, things would have been different if our sodium and cocaine were mixed up. I'm just saying that I'd hate to go to jail for 10 to 5, 10 years of life, okay, 8 ounces of salt. All right, y'all, that's all I have for salt.
Hey, sweet.
Yeah.
Wait, not sweet, salty.
And much like everybody else there.
DC is salt of the earth. He's always got good stuff.
You're such a Midwestern thing to say. Salt of the earth. So give it to me, guys. Just what's up?
Anybody else want to go before I go?
No, you go first.
Bad Brad. You're itching to say
Brad,
something.
I was just gonna say, man, I thought all that was really good, really creative. I liked how you went back to the Roman days and made those kinds of jokes, man. That was I gotta say, I was a fan of most of what you said, if not everything. I thought it was really good. I don't know if I could really criticize that at all at my amateur level.
Hey, we're all peers, so just bring it
Yeah.
on. Anything is good. So Ness, Bilal,
All right. Can I play?
sure.
All right, cool. This was so much fun. By the way, I just got to say, this was so much fun. DC, of course, it would be you who would go back and find like three to 5 syllable words to put into a set about salt. You know, it's like Theophilus. I love this idea of Theophilus and bringing him all the way through the entire, just keeping him as the main character through the Salt Lake of the village. You know, most villages have the village idiot. We have the village Salt Lick Theophilus. Bringing it back, human Salt Lick by the whole village, salt palette. Oh, what did I write here, man? Salt Theophilus. Yeah, bringing him back through the whole entire thing, because you mentioned, the Salt Lick of the whole Salt Lick by the whole village and the eroticism. Get Theophilus back into that main thread. Just like, so there's Theophilus standing there, and suddenly he's getting licked by one. He's like, this is kinky. Licked by two. He's like, this is even better. But once 100 people in the village come up and start licking Theophilus's feet, he's like, whoa. A little bit more than I just bring Theophilus the name through.
Okay.
It would be really fun. The centurions I thought was hilarious. I didn't catch what you were saying the first time, mostly because I'm listening for really simple words, and suddenly there's centus. I was like, what?
Do you know what? That's
And then
good. I got to keep my language more simple. I just got to keep it simple.
No. I love the idea of centurion. The centurions, the police of the.
Yeah. Oh shit. Okay. This one needs some help. Okay. Hey, this exercise has been great and just really gave me some. This feedback has given me some legs. So what would be? I'm not sure who I should ask on this because I don't think Sinnes needs to ever have to answer this. But what do you say when the cops roll up on you? Oh shit! It's a centurion. It's that. I don't know. Like what is this? What do you say when you get rolled up by the police out of the blue? I'm speaking to 3 people.
Oh, I live in Japan.
Yeah, I know.
When I get rolled up by the police, I'm like, well, oh man, that's really hard because I get pulled over a lot on my bicycle.
So this is more for.
I do, but they're usually asking for my foreign, like my alien registration card or my green card. Is this really your bicycle, ma'am? Like,
wow.
Yeah, it's my bicycle. So I have to be super polite, but they're also polite to me before they want to haul me off.
That is definitely not North American privilege. That is definitely foreign privilege.
Oh no, they want to throw me in jail, but they have to be polite about it because they're Japanese police officers.
Wow.
But they will throw me in jail for riding the wrong bicycle, even though it's mine. So going back, what would you say?
Like, what would be a good typical thing that would be said? I mean, I've never been arrested before, right? So I'm not gonna, but
really? Never. Who in this room has been arrested? Is it just me who's been in for interrogations?
No.
Sure,
Lineups. Being asked to be part of a lineup is not an arrest. That's totally different. I'm just saying. Okay. But I guess, guys, I mean, I'm just thinking, what would be a just to add some legs to this, add some meat to this, what would be a typical response or reflexive response that the person would say when they get broken up by the police or snuck up by the police, other than yo shit, it's the cops, yo shit, it's a centurion. So
oh shit, time to flex my gun juggling skills.
Oh shit. All right, got it. All right.
I'd probably just leave it at oh shit and I'd be out of there.
All right. Oh shit, it's a centurion.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's great. Oh, and then, centurions, and centurion, you can even explain, centurions are the police of the last century.
Yeah, century. Do you know what? If I have to explain centurions, I'm in the wrong audience. I'm just saying. Like that's.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Did you guys
this is the special ed workshop. So, no, I was gonna say, like, with the Centurions though, like, because you don't have to worry about them accidentally like hacking you to pieces. Like, what if they it's like, oh shit, he's reaching for something? They just like pull out swords and shit. That'd take way more
Centurion.
effort. I don't know. How do you explain that one away?
Centurions are kind of cool because you think about it, like today, these police have to show their police shields, like their mini badges, like stop police. And there's this little shield that says badge number ID 00492. And then Centurions are like, stop Centurions. And this big shield comes up with the identification 00692.
Roman numerals.
Emeralds.
Me too.
It's like
That would be I.
XX1 XXI5V II.
Actually, and Bilal, you got to give me an idea with that too as well, because just to build on to that and send us on top of what you're talking about, like extending that the police interaction back in the day, being caught with 5 ounces of salt, right? Yes, a rock is a rock. I don't care what kind of rock it is. Yeah, it's only crack. Yeah, it's not salt, it's cocaine. I don't believe it's cocaine. No, that's salt. We know what cocaine tastes like.
That's good. Jesus.
That's salt. All right. All right.
That
So,
was also like bath salts would be easy to throw in there.
shit. Yeah. I
Also,
didn't think about
with
that.
with the Salt Lake dude, like that's probably where oral sex started. Like the first. They're like, oh wait, hold on a minute. I think we might be on to something. Also cannibalism, self-salting meat.
Shit. All right.
Oh.
Also,
Also, I
sexual
wanna talk
assault. Yeah. Full circle.
what Bilal said as well about the bath salts. Like maybe his name is actually Epsom.
Oh my god. That's hilarious.
They throw Theophilus into the Roman baths, and suddenly everybody's like floating and like, whoa, my muscles feel so good now.
All right. Bath salts.
Well, no, I meant the drug.
Oh,
Yeah, Bilal,
I
are
was-
you from Florida?
literally, Bilal. I love that
Detroit.
idea of the bath salts.
Detroit. All right. So first thing I hear
Florida.
about when I hear
Okay.
bath salts, I immediately think of Florida, because that's where the weirdest shit happens when people are on bath salts. So that's
Florida.
with bath salts, right?
I'm
Yeah.
somewhat familiar. I lived in Florida. The last place I parked was Florida.
Yeah, all the weird shit that happens on bath salts, all the experiences happen in Florida, like the person eating another live human being in bath salts.
Maybe they're
Yeah.
just covered in
Make-
salt and delicious.
Yeah. But no, I like these ideas to build up that, and I have some confidence that there is something I can create from this. So I appreciate this.
Wait, hang on. I have more DC. Can
Okay.
I? Okay,
Yeah.
so going back to, before you got into this, I thought it was actually you went kind of the direction I was thinking. I took notes on. Salt is the crocaine in a senior home for those on a low sodium diet.
Oh my god, that's funny.
So for those on low sodium diet, it's their cocaine.
It's their cocaine. Like it's like when you're in prison and you're like exchanging things to get cigarettes. So you're like, yeah, I'll exchange. To get the cell phone, I'll trade you 12 cigarettes. But like in order to get a phone with a video on, or like a video phone or something, you're like, I got some salt. You can add to your soup later.
Yo, I'll suck your dick with some salt.
You got your soup later.
All right, I will.
And then when you talk about crack and hypertension, that cracked me up. That was hilarious. So it's like, yeah, why don't they make salt drinks? Well, in Japan, they do make salt drinks. In fact, you can get like you can get a salt tablet to put in your water. And that's what you have in your emergency bag for the earthquakes that also would be known to break my floor had I not broken it first. You drop the salt into your water to get enough. Anyways, it's called Pocari Sweat, which kind of makes sense because when you know Pocari Sweat, you lived in Asia.
Singapore. I live in Singapore. That's
You guys had
Also-
Pocari Sweat.
yeah.
Don't
that's
like
pretty good.
Ethiopians instead of sugar, they put salt in their coffee.
Who puts salt in the coffee?
Ethiopians were the people who invented coffee.
That's interesting.
Wow. I feel like I should get my black pass revoked because you knew something I did not know about this kind of shit. This is embarrassing. How do you know about this? I guess Detroit has a lot of Ethiopians. Is it Ethiopian
No,
population?
I used to watch a lot of Parts Unknown.
It's your COVID watching list. I get it. All right.
I love it. I used to stay in Rwanda. I used to live in Rwanda for a bit, and no salt in the coffee in Rwanda.
Salt and coffee.
Salt and
No,
That's
I'm not gonna
hilarious.
do it.
Bilal. That's like some massive. Like I'm gonna drop some knowledge on you, Bilal. That's awesome.
Thanks. Well, here's what I'm getting from you guys is that there's more I can add on to that. There's definitely more tags and fit into that with that bit. Of course, it needs to be cleaned up and polished up. This is in its raw form, so I do appreciate this feedback. Anything else?
I
you
love
know
that
what?
for 8 ounces of salt. That's hilarious.
Okay.
That was hilarious.
I was just gonna say, as a one last note, one thing you could do is like a play on words, and instead of going like with salt per se, you could be like assault. You know, like he was assaulted.
Oh man.
Right.
Oh man. Wait, throwing a dad humor there. Oh fuck. All right. Yeah.
It's just
Yeah. A few groaners is expected, I guess, right?
For sure. Funny.
Assault.
Okay. Well,
Yay, DC.
Bad Brad. Yeah, oh yeah, DC, that was great. Bad Brad, you're up next. Let me know when you're ready to
All right,
begin
guys.
what your topic is, and I will start your time.
So, guys, my topic is Matrix. And I'm going to start like this Toyota Matrix. How in the hell did they decide on that name for that car? Does anyone here even know what a Matrix is? I had to look it up, and I'm still confused. I'll tell you what, though, it's a math thing. And it's not just regular math, it's algebra shit. It's got X's and Y's, and they're on top of each other and all around. It's crazy. It was officially used as far back as 1850. Who gives a fuck? It's been beneficial to no one ever since. Want to hear what else is messed up? There's a way of making matrix plural. Like just one isn't bad enough. But in the event that there's more than one matrix, it's actually referred to as matrices. Who decided on that one? I picture it going down something like this. There's this big math meeting of the year. And the guy, he's about to tell the world all about the matrix and how it can benefit people. In a speech, he says something along these lines. And he says, and we can have more than one matrix, but be careful when using the matrices. And then all of a sudden, someone from the back row yells out, it's matrices. And then there's a long pause in the room. And he thinks it over for a moment. And this is the defining moment. The creator of the matrix could have corrected this person in the back row. But oh no, he did a quick calculation, and then he decided that matrices makes more sense. And you want to know what the Toyota Matrix and then the movie Matrix have in common? They were a hit when they first came out, but now nobody really knows about them. They're like, no one remembers anything in particular about either one of those two things, except that they nearly were. Now let me tell you a little bit of some of the tricks that my nanny can perform. Her name's May, and I refer to these as Nanny May tricks. Now, she can go into the kitchen, and 15 minutes later, she can emerge with 3 dozen perfectly delicious, soft and chewy chocolate chip cookies. Or, it's possible she can go into the kitchen and come out 30 minutes later, half drunk, only partially slurring her speech, and she can still convince you that what she has in her hand, these black, solid biscuits, are still her world-famous cookies and that you should, in fact, still try one. I don't know how she does it. I know another one of her tricks. She could be giving the business to Uncle Bob on the phone. Really intense, cursing him right out. And you could say, Nan, where's the washroom? And she could turn to you just like an angel sent from heaven, be like, it's down the hall, my love. And then get right back on the phone and cuss out Uncle Bob some more. I don't know. And I'll tell you what else you can do. And a lot of people's nannies might be able to do this too, but if you speak something inappropriate within earshot, Nanny May, she can kick you right in the butt without you even knowing she was there. She could be across the room and around the corner, and she still gets you. I don't know. It's almost impossible, but she can do it. And what else? Oh yeah, Nanny May is also musically inclined. She can play the piano, the guitar. She can sing. She can tap her foot to the beat to keep everybody else around her in time. And she can do all of this at the same time. And if anybody so much as misses a beat, plays out of tune, she can kick them right in the arse as well. And nobody really knows, almost as if from nowhere. Except everyone would know that it's just one of Nanny May's tricks. And guys, that's all I got. All right.
Who wants to play
Yeah.
first?
Sorry, Bilal? Sonas?
Yeah. Yeah.
Go for it.
Mhm.
I'll play.
Me? Yeah.
Do you want to go first, DC?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
First of all, I just saw Toyota Matrix this morning. Actually, last night. I was like, shit, I saw one like that like 8 months ago, right? It's like seeing black people in Singapore. You see them like stretch at a time, right? Very rare. So yeah, it's funny. You talk about the Matrix. Like, yeah, it's still a good car, but people don't know about it. I like that. And you,
Wow.
but you tied it into the Matrix, because I thought that you're gonna say Matrix is a shitty car, but then Matrix is a good movie. So you can go different directions with that, because Matrix was a good car, and Matrix is a good movie, but we still don't know about both.
Right.
But if you ever want to extend the Matrix bit on the car, you can expand on how shitty your Matrix was or is. Like you can go in a different direction with that.
For
And then
sure.
tie it, and then wrap it up at the end. Hey, we both have in common, both don't know, they don't hardly exist, and both don't know what they're all about. Both, people forget about both.
Yeah.
So you have more. You can punch down on a Matrix of how shitty it was than on the niceness of it.
Can I bounce with DC on that one? Can I play with you on that one as well?
Sure.
Okay. So I also took note on the car and the Matrix movie, and that's a Corolla and it was manufactured in Canada, which is probably why DC and Brad have both seen it a lot, because DC is Canadian,
Right.
Ew.
American / whatever. Gannon.
Make believe, bitches.
Yo. Yeah, so that's probably why you see the Matrix everywhere. That's probably why you see the Matrix. Either that or you're like Keanu Reeves. So the Matrix, the Toyota Matrix is a car that drives you into another reality.
Oh, nice.
It was originally, the construct was originally made in Canada. I mean, it was originally constructed in Canada. It was originally, keep bouncing off that. Yeah. For me, that car Matrix makes more. I'll get back to the math one in a second, but I'll let DC go on first. But yeah.
So with regards to the math, just to tag on to the Matrix theme within that, when we talk about Matrix and matrices, consider creating more conflict between the presenter, this is the Matrix, and the person at the back of the room. Yo, it's matrices. If you create some kind of conflict, they're like, man, fuck you, my matrices. Oh snap, that actually sounds better. Not just play more into that character, that contrast between a lecturer and someone interrupting a lecturer, because deep well, the core being of that lecturer, the lecturer wants to cuss out and give a peace of mind to the person who's yelling at in the middle of their lecture. Meanwhile, it's like, actually, that's actually good. That's not too bad. Yeah, like saving face.
Can I play on the theme with you, DC? Mm-hmm. So yeah, what DC was saying as well, having that conflict in between. The Matrix, it's the female dominating the math forum. Somebody screams out, it's matrices. I'll let you speak when I want you to speak. Do you understand? Say yes if you understand me. Raise your hand if you understand, and just get that play in there.
What did I sign up for? Dominatrixes. Which one did I sign up for?
Oh my God, that's funny.
I gotta make sure my spelling's correct.
That's like the first feminist studies class that every mathematician needs to take these days, so that they're not outed by Google. What classes are you taking to get it so you can get a job at Google? Well, I'm taking feminist literature, and I'm taking matrices. I don't even know how to say this. It's kind of like you don't know how to say things when they're on the cusp of
Is it may try?
True.
May try?
What- DC, what is that word? You and I were talking about this a couple months ago, probably. Where's that word we were talking about? You know, it's when you say something that could be deemed inappropriate, depending on like culture or race or it's like such a commonplace word these days. Why is this evading me at the moment? It'll come back.
Okay, culturally inappropriate. Appropriation. I don't know.
Appropriation. It's like somebody-
gosh. So that word escapes me right now.
It's gonna
But
keep
you
you
know what
both up at night for sure.
Yeah.
It'll keep him up. It's daytime for me, so I have all day to think to ruminate on this.
Yeah. I'm gonna get insomnia from that. Can I tag on one more bit on the last bit of Brad's joke on May? Talk about his Aunt May. I thought you were going to mention Aunt May turning tricks. I thought there was going to be play on that word.
Right.
But then that'd be more of a way to cap it as opposed to fit in between, because you're making all these nice attributes of Aunt May. She's devilish. She's, she plays tricks on people. But also, a lot of people don't know that she also does tricks. Which is,
She's a hoe.
yeah, she's a hoe. Right? Back in the day, she's a trickster because she turned tricks.
Oh man.
I don't know. Food for thought.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I was I never heard about a Toyota Matrix, but you know about dot matrix printers?
Right.
Oh yeah.
That was some Matrix related. Yeah, I like the way he did the Matrix thing. I love puns. I'd have never thought of that one. That's like trying to wrap my head around that still.
Man, I'm gonna be completely honest. I was struggling with Matrix so bad. I was just grasping at straws.
That's it.
Yeah, actually, hold on. I think I do know something about a Toyota Matrix. I think that was my mate Rick's car. Yeah, I think he had one.
Yeah.
It's a good car.
Yeah.
They pack a lot of stuff.
Any more feedback, you guys?
Just with regards to the Matrix part, like the Aunt May tricks, which there's so many different plugs to get in there. I mean, which I found that work because you're creating this character for your aunt, and we don't know your aunt. You can make up shit, and we would believe you anyway, right?
Right.
But but I like the way that you made a contrast between she's nice, but then she'd turn on you on a dime. So you kind of made a polarizing character for kind of like a bipolar persona of your aunt.
Right.
All right. I'm surprised you didn't say anything about Halloween trick or treat. I'm the trick.
Oh,
hey,
man.
kids get candy, right? That's Aunt May always playing tricks and turning tricks, which now playing tricks and turning tricks.
Solid.
Right.
Or what if she made you think your Uncle Ben was dead, so you went out and became a superhero and started fighting crime, and then never mind. You found out it was all a big prank. Bet you feel really dumb.
Again. All right.
Cool.
We good?
Brad.
Hopefully. Okay. All right. Sweet. I guess it's my turn to tell jokes about buffets. Oh yeah, I love food.
What is it?
Okay, here
What
we
is
go.
what is the word?
Buffets.
Buffets. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Here we go. Buffets. Like I haven't been to a buffet in quite a while, but from what I remember, those are like those places where you just stuff your face until you're turgid with food. But you think like anyone's ever like, you know how some people like kill themselves for the insurance, so their family gets the insurance money, but they don't want it to look like they killed themselves. You think anyone's ever gone to a buffet and just like ate themselves to death on purpose? That's how I would do it. I think I would just go down there, you know. Plus, they could sue the
Like,
buffet. Is that like? Do you have to sign like a release form or something when you walk in? Is that like part of the deal? Because if not, you could probably sue them if they just let you eat yourself to death right in their establishment. It's not a good look. Plus, you could probably like if you settle out of court, you could probably get some hush money too, because that's the end of that business, right? Somebody went in there and ate themselves to death. It's like a goldfish. Yeah, like what if you like I don't know, you had like a pet goldfish and then like you like went to feed it some flakes, but then you looked at the little flake canister and you're like, oh no, these aren't goldfish flakes. These are radioactive waste flakes. And all of a sudden your goldfish like becomes self-aware and it grows to like human size and has legs and shit and arms and hopes and dreams, and then you take it out to the buffet with you. You know, you're like, okay, goldfish, like we've been hanging out for a week. You seem cool. Today we're gonna go to the buffet, and then and then the goldfish is like, oh, cool, my best friend in the whole world. I'll go to the buffet with you, and they go with you, and then you start eating, and then all of a sudden, like the goldfish just keeps eating and eating and eating, and then you're like, oh wait, I forgot this about goldfish, and then it's dead. Like, who do you sue? You got to sue the restaurant, right? You're like, no, you killed my only friend on earth. You sick animals. You entrust us with unlimited food? Like, what the hell? Like, no, that's not a good look, man. I don't know. That's probably why like buffets, you know, they always shut down. Like they just stay open until someone eats themselves to death, and then they just change the name and go over to another town and open up a new shop. It's gotta happen. Like I don't know, maybe like how many people you think die in a buffet on an annual basis in America? I know you're in like Japan and other than Canada and shit. Like you don't know what it's like, man. It's just animals everywhere, fucking eating all the grilled cheese and shit. We're gonna run out of. There's gonna be a grilled cheese shortage eventually. I don't know. They are really good though. All right, well that's all I'm gonna do. You guys have any feedback? So those are incredibly well written.
I have some ideas. Anybody else have anyone else want to go first?
Go ahead, Sinus. Brad.
I'm always ready to play. So feel free, Brad and DC, to jump in if you have like in the same realm. If you have the same, we can just all play together in that same area. One thing, when you immediately said buffet, the first thing that came to my mind was Jimmy Buffett. And the only people who actually listen to Jimmy Buffett these days are people who go to the all-you-can-eat buffets. Is that why he named himself Jimmy Buffett? I mean, like, seriously, I've never heard the last name Buffett before. It's like, you know, buffet. Ah, it's Jimmy Buffett. And, yeah,
Who
those
the fuck
people.
is Jimmy Buffett?
I guess that is the point, that the only people who listen to Hamburger in Paradise are people who go to buffets. Don't leave me out here alone on this. Don't leave me alone. Oh man,
So
Jimmy's Burger in Paradise.
Sinus.
Explains the floor thing. No, I'm kidding. All right.
Oh,
Are you
Yeah.
serious? You don't know who Jimmy Buffett is?
Hey,
No,
Sinus.
I just Googled him. I'm trying to see.
Yeah,
Um,
when he said
He's like a
Detroit,
super famous-
when he said he's from Detroit, automatic is like, I wonder if you because you know who Jimmy Buffett is. 'Cause that is
That's true.
Yeah, I'm saying ringing
the whitest
bells,
singer
everybody.
ever. The most privileged whitest singer ever, culturally speaking.
I only learned about Jimmy Buffett when I moved to Florida. I don't think anybody in like, Plainfield, New Jersey ever heard of Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah. Unless there's a remix of some of Jimmy Buffett's songs that made it sampled by Puff Daddy, I don't think many people in certain neighborhoods are going to know about Jimmy Buffett's music. I'm just saying.
I mean, sure. I thought that was that guy that had that rim shop over on 8 Mile.
Yeah, he hooked me up with some rims, bro. Jimmy Buffett, good guy.
You're gonna get me some cheeseburger in paradise. I'm gonna throw it down. I'm gonna throw it 8 with the dice, a double. You guys got it. Okay, well then never mind that one. Let me just move to the next one.
Okay.
I love the idea because you went there with the goldfish because I was thinking about people with dementia going to buffets. Like, have I gone up yet? I don't think I've gone. And they just keep going back for more and they sit down and they eat and they're looking at it and they take away your plates. Like there's no service at the buffet or at like Golden Corral, which is where my grandmother liked to go after church sometimes on Sundays, $4.99 for an all you can eat buffet. So you sit down at and get a plate and then go up there and then they clear away the plates and she'd be sitting there at the table like, have I gone up yet?
Well, that's the
And I'm
saddest
sitting there
thing I've ever
chowing
heard.
down
What the
on
hell?
macaroni and cheese.
Hey, I gotta say, on top of what Senos talked about, Free Bilal, that tangent on being in a buffet restaurant and having dementia, it's dark, but that's funny as hell because you can't remember. I don't think I just ate a plate, and then literally that person could eat themselves to death. So you just pray that you don't go to a buffet restaurant with a person with dementia.
Yeah,
And the only people who go are elderly.
Yeah, elderly, right?
Elderly. Yeah, always go for the early bird dinner.
Mhm.
Early birds. Got to get that early bird dinner.
Yeah. So the whole death wish, as Grandpa, how do you want to die? I want to die in a buffet. We can make that happen. We can make that happen. $8.99.
Plot twist, he thought you said dine. It's like, what's the gun for?
In case he stopped feeding me at the buffet. Senes, you got anything else to tag into there, or Brad?
Not on that part, but I have another part later. So
Okay.
I'll let you go first, and we'll see if we can play around.
So, Bilal, when you're talking about first of all, I never heard the word turgid being used in a comedy set. That's grade 9, grade 10 science. That's brilliant. Like
What did he say?
turgid.
I didn't catch that. I was like,
TRGID, which is a biology term of plants that has. Anyway, it's pretty sciencey. It's like shit. He's pulling out the term turgid, and I pulled up my term centurion. I get it. We use weird words, right? That's one of those words. So I was impressed.
as opposed to Brad and Sinette who are just rhyming with Dr. Seuss.
So when you talk about death, I automatically thought about buffet, death, and death sentence. You could also, this is just another tangent as well, if you want to use this here now, tying into last rites, last meals. If you want your last meal, why not make it a buffet?
Right.
Right?
I actually had a joke about last meals. I used to do.
Yeah.
Sorry, can maybe one of you can answer this question? I'm not sure if Brad is on the same page as me. It looks like he's a kindergarten teacher or
No.
elementary school teacher.
That's my wife's teaching space I'm in.
Oh, okay. Now I remember you.
He's like Bilal is like 55 minutes and an hour into this, and he's like finally like letting go of the mean girl syndrome. I don't know who you are. I've never met you. I've met you like 10 times.
That's totally me.
Come on,
So upset
Brad.
about-
What does
Mean
turgid
girl.
mean?
You're asking me directly?
I'm asking anybody who can answer this question.
No, that's DC. DC had that one.
Okay, so this
Okay,
is my
Brad,
doctor hat.
really good.
This is where I can pull up my science hat. I'm a bloody physician. I can't remember that term. Okay, turgid is when there's a built-up pressure built up within a column within like a vertical column. So plants that are turgid are plants that are stiff upright. Plants that wilt are no longer turgid, flaccid. It's the opposite of flaccid. You want your man to be
turgid just
turgid,
means-
not flaccid.
It's,
Turgid just means that they've absorbed as much like liquid as they can. Like if you have a sponge and it's full of
Yeah.
water
Yeah,
or something.
full of fluid. So
Bilal, are you like some like, you know, like some sort of biochemist who's like,
I know I'm a card carrying retard. Any more feedback, guys?
no.
hey, what got me in tears actually was when you started to personifying or creating a character of that goldfish,
Yeah.
even hopes and dreams. That killed me, because now you're feeding it, becomes a personality, you make it friends, that you take it to the buffet because he likes to eat, because you know goldfish don't stop, and then he dies in the buffet, and then you're giving, so like the whole goldfish slant and making it your friend and that whole personality. The fact that now you start getting angry at the buffet owners because like, fuck it, you knew he's goldfish, you knew exactly they don't stop eating, you didn't recognize my friend was goldfish, shame on you. And now the restaurant has to start negotiating. Listen, okay, we don't want this bad publicity. What we can do is arrange for an all-you-can-eat voucher for your family and friends. No, you don't get it, man. That killed my friend. I don't want any more vouchers for all you can eat. So you can start playing around with what a negotiation would look like from a restaurant, buffet restaurant, like Golden Corral. If they didn't want someone, a loved one who died on their property, someone that you knew, and they're trying to negotiate out of it. So
we'll give you a coupon for your all. Yeah. We'll give you a coupon for our all-you-can-eat seafood buffet. No.
Coming back to reverse Auschwitz. Anyway, you guys have any more feedback?
I like the idea. First of all, I just love that goldfish. What about you? You mentioned and you brought in there, Bilal. One thing that you really excel at here as well is bringing in everyone in the room, because you have, you know, multiple cultures in this room, Canadian and Japanese, and I thought that was beautifully done. There's also a term for in Sweden. There's a smorgasbord, which is another like all you can eat thing, and I thought that was really interesting that you brought up, you know, how Japanese would never. There's an all you can eat buffet. But in America, it's like, all you can eat buffet. You take a plate and you run to the buffet and you pile it as high as you can. And like, I got it, even though you can go back for multiple plates. But in Japan, when you have an all you can eat buffet, they're like, all you can eat for 2 plates. Mm-hmm. And of course, the Japanese are very polite about it. And they don't pile it high. They just put what they need on a plate. And there's 1 plate for cold things and 1 plate for hot things. And they go, oh, please, ahead of you, please, Dozo, you go first. You know, very polite.
That's
and
why
in
they
Sweden,
fucking lost.
That's why they don't fall through their living room floors, though. And in Sweden as well, having the smorgasbord, you don't see fat Swedish people.
That's true.
Yeah, they saw
right? Every other culture in the world that's got buffets, you're like, you know, they're thin, they're healthy. It's just the Americans are like, give me all I can get.
Yeah. So that's really painted an opportunity to contrast the American buffets, which we're all familiar with, to, you know, they don't have the same buffet problems across the rest of the world. I mean, unless you're Brazilian, which you need red and green to tell them to stop.
That's right.
Yeah, but so you can play around with what you think buffet restaurants and other parts of the world would have to deal with overeating. I mean, if you have a buffet restaurant in Ethiopia, what would that look like? Do they add salt? Or I don't know. I mean, or you know, buffet restaurant other. So you can think about that with regards to if you're going to play around with the buffet theme. Well, what does it look like?
It's like the same thing with unlimited refills.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I interrupted. One more time, Bilal.
I said culture is for yogurt lovers. That's that's from the Ninja Turtles. Anyway, any more feedback on buffets?
I thought it was fun. Yay!
Okay. Yay, sweet. So now this is the part where if you have any regular human jokes you want to work on, or if
human jokes
premises you want to shoot out there into the wind, this is where you do it. So Ness, you are back up. Let me know when you're ready to begin, and I will start your time.
Sweet. Okay, so I'm play around. You know, I feel like I was just saying to my husband in the bathtub last night, like, do you think we're like little kids playing at being adults? And he's like, just pass me the duck. And no, really, like, our floor is broken. Should we fix it? And he's got like tools. He's like, no, it's cool. I got tools in my closet, and I found wood on the side of the road. And so now we've got a floor that looks like a 6-year-old has fixed it, because we're 6-year-olds playing at being adults. But maybe that's like, maybe we're all 6-year-olds playing at adults, because kids call adults to help because they know how to do things. I mean, that's why when anything goes wrong, we call somebody. Like, I've got a cold. Can I come to your office? My water heater's broken. Can you make it work again? The water's cold. Can you make it warm again? So maybe we're all just kids playing adults. I just recently, we don't lock our front door ever. Like, we live in Japan, nobody breaks into the house, and we leave our door unlocked 24 hours a day. I mean, what are people going to steal when they come in here anyways? There's nothing of value in our house except our refrigerator. And it would just look absolutely ridiculous for someone to come into our house and like pick up a refrigerator and like traipse it down the street with their refrigerator on their back. If they need a refrigerator that badly, welcome, dozo. Help yourself to whatever's in our house. We don't have a TV. We have nothing of value. It makes up my microphone. This is like, yes. So we leave the door unlocked, and we had our friend coming to visit, and our friend locked the door. I don't have a key.
Oh.
Beep, 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 beep. Excuse me, can you open our door? Because I lost my key. Yeah, I just feel like we're just adults that aren't adults. We're just kids playing adult all the time. That's something that I'm playing with right now. So I'd love to play and have ideas and feedback. Be playful with it.
But are you done?
All right.
Yeah, like I'm done with it. Yeah, it's just one idea, one premise that I'm playing with right now. I would love to get some support on that. Would you like me to do another premise that I'm also playing with at the moment?
I mean, you had like 2.5 minutes left if you want them.
I already overtook them the other day, I think, or the other do actor.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, I can start with that. Should I? Oh yeah, I've got something. I've always got something in my ideas folder. No, that's all I got. I don't have to. I will concede my time and get some support on that.
Okay, cool. You guys have any feedback?
All right. Brad, what you got?
Man, I was gonna say, like, I like the idea of the kids playing as adults because, like, in a sense, I keep saying that I feel like I've been getting old lately. So I keep telling myself you're only as old as you feel, and then I tell myself that I feel like I'm like 20. But like, so I guess you could, like, you're only as old as you think you are. But I guess if you think that you're acting like children, like maybe that was the most fun you ever had, and you don't want to let those times go, so you just roll with it, right? And everything's, I don't know, in that perspective. I don't know.
We were unsupervised as kids, so we didn't have anybody to reach out to for support.
Right.
We were totally unsupervised. We're like, makeshift everything. Duct tape the faucet back on.
Yeah, but through circumstances like that, your creativity develops, right? Like, I mean, I think that's wicked. There would have been nobody telling you no. You know what I mean? For good or for bad. Like, I just like that idea.
So Ness, when you open your bit about going back and you and your husband, first of all, you and your husband being in the tub and saying, just grab the duck, bam, right off that. All right, I just like that tag and building on from there. There's so many different directions you can also build into there, because now you can just start to think, what are the typical things we do as kids, right? That you try to pass off as adults. I mean, you're having a bath time, and so you think of your own childhood or the typical childhood of what we complain about. And man, this is too hot. This is too cold. Can you heat up for me, please? You can personify as a child. You don't necessarily have to personify as a child, but you know exactly what we say as kids, or what kids say. It's too mushy, or can you heat up again? Which also sounds like my whining ex-girlfriend when I was 16, which is no much different than a kid. I'm just saying, you just kind of give me some flashbacks. Like, can I have some more, please? Like, oh, why are you whining? So there's even more you could build into there or add on with that creating an image that everybody can identify with, and maybe tie it to your regional, and then tie it to, okay, here's what it looks like being how Japanese treat adults who look like kids, which they look at you with disdain. Mm-hmm. So now you create that, you can be a bit more self-deprecating with that, which, even though that is lighthearted at home, with everybody else that's around you in Japan, it's definitely not. It's frowned upon. And you can play with that because we don't know.
It's kind of funny you mentioned that, because in Japan, it's really as a woman, you want to appear as young as possible. So when I first moved here, and I saw, this is 24 years ago, I saw these like 30-year-old women with Hello Kitty t-shirts, like, kawaii, I'm so cute. And I just thought, oh my, like, are you an adult or what? You're wearing a Hello Kitty t-shirt. Now I'm all about the Hello Kitty t-shirt, but I'm also the voice of Hello Kitty. So I feel like I did go to a networking event once, and and somebody asked me, right at the front door, like, oh yeah, okay, you're so-and-so from, NHK TV. That's cool. Can I have your business card? I'm like, sure, here's my card. And I take out my Hello Kitty card case and I hand her my card. She's like, Hello Kitty? Are you a child? I'm like, that's so childish and juvenile of you. And I'm like, oh, we are not going to be friends. I was just like, here, I'll just take my card back. Thank you. And I put it back in my pocket. I was like, I'll be childish about this, because that was literally a gift from Sanyo with a Swarovski, whatever. I don't even know how to say the name of that. I'm such a looking, I don't want to say it. With Swarovski crystals on it. And like, they were like, thank you so much for being the voice of Hello Kitty. We honor you with this, Hello Kitty card carrying case. And she's like, you're so juvenile. I'm like, you don't know who I am.
You don't.
But, whoops.
Oh wait, hold on. You play bass?
My back. Okay.
Wait, you play bass? Hold on a minute.
Yeah, I play washtub bass, and this is my bass to become a better washtub bass player.
Cool. I was thinking like you could probably make an easy Epstein Island joke. Or punchline in that one. An easy Epstein Island punchline. You know about that?
No, what's that?
Oh my God! Never mind. I want to paint you.
Wow. It's definitely a Western.
Like Jeffrey Epstein, the pedophile dude?
Yeah, that one. Not as opposed to Jeffrey Epstein, the decent person.
My lawyer.
Used a lot.
Yeah. If it resonates, Sinessa, if it resonates.
Throwing out ideas.
Hey,
I wouldn't.
I was curious when you mentioned the fact that, because you went on the tangent of the fact you never lock your doors and people can walk in and out. That's like a holy shit factor, and that gets me going, okay, tell me more about this. Which now you talk about the fact that if someone's brave enough to walk in and steal your fridge, first of all, it's absurd, but can you imagine if you can paint the picture if someone had the, first of all, strength to break into your house and steal your fridge and steal your food and walk out with their fridge. First of all, they deserve to break in because they're strong as hell. Second of all, a Japanese person that big breaking in, I'd be the first American afraid of a Japanese person. I'm just saying, it's, there's, I'm not sure if the joke with the buildup was on them being the fact that you have a house that you don't lock your door, or what they would steal from your house, which is absolutely nothing. And you can even just put the most bare bones things, which if you were broke, if you were just broke or indigent, what would be some shitty items that they're likely to steal that have no value to them, but they don't know that if they walk into your house and steal. So you can create some really random items that they'll find like, what the hell is this? It's a styrofoam guitar. This ain't even real. This bass isn't even real. It's Fisher Price. I can't play Fisher Price.
It's a prop. It's all props.
It's a prop. Built behind is a prop. I know. So this ain't weed behind me. This flower is I can't sell this. It's plastic.
What am I going to do with 16 hula hoops? Seriously.
What if they stole your fridge, but the only reason you're upset was because they stole your ice cream that was inside it?
Yeah, I would be pretty pissed because, I have a good supply of gluten-free yummies in there, and it's like hard to come by those in Japan. I mean, those are the most valuable things in my house. Like what?
Expensive.
Gluten-free crackers?
That and Wagyu beef.
And what?
That and Wagyu beef. Wagyu.
Wagyu beef. Yeah, we don't have Wagyu beef in our fridge. Yeah, we don't have that. What would people steal in here? If somebody stole my wash tub base, I'd be pretty pissed because that's an import item. I had to go searching in 3 different hardware stores in Connecticut to find a 20-gallon steel galvanized wash tub, and then the proper galvanized steel string, so I could break a branch off the tree. Yeah, wash tub, as in like.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying like wash tub or something. It was like a word that I didn't know. I was like, okay, just go along.
The wash tub. You can't get a steel galvanized wash tub here in Japan. I had to literally go to all across Connecticut to find a good metal wash tub to build myself a base.
Oddly specific. It's like you're like the most purest Foley artist. No, I need this one specific sound. I need a wash tub. I need a metal wash tub.
Galvanized steel must be galvanized.
Yeah, it must be galvanized. No, I don't want this aluminum shit. It has to be galvanized. That's not galvanized. Don't give me that shit. Give me the galvanized stuff. I'll pay top dollar.
Galvanized.
Galvanized.
That was hard. It was hard to bring into Japan. I was like, how much are they going to charge me duty on this? I was like, what am I going to do? I just got a cardboard box, and I was like, oh God, they're going to totally steal my galvanized steel wash tub here. Like, I'll just, I went to Victoria's Secret before I came here so I could stock up on a 2-year supply of bras and panties. And when I went through customs, they were like, do you have anything to declare? And I'm like, no. They're like, what's inside this box? I'm like, bras and panties. And they were just like, oh, dozo. They didn't want to even mess with my undergarments in front of public. So I just walked through.
Wow, should have hidden drugs in there. So
why? I've got Yuji. He could just make speed for me if I need it.
Don't worry, I hook you up with amphetamines. You're talking about stuff that you would not want them to steal, Siness, right? Like you would not want them to walk out with your weight, with a base. You would not want them to walk out with your ice cream. What would you not care they walk out with? So I mean, that's the stuff they'd be like, man, I don't care if they walk out with this and this and that. Like think of the items that they may think are valuable, but it's worthless to you.
What if they walked out with your husband?
No.
Oh,
he could walk right back in.
Stolen.
If they could walk out with my husband, then they deserve to keep him.
What if they kidnapped him? I'm just saying.
Yeah, and then I have the Ori Sagi Denwa. I have it's me scam. Like, we have your husband. And I'd be like, dude, my husband is a karate black belt. He is the winner of the American Ninja Warrior in Japan. Oh. If they could keep him locked in a room, I would be totally impressed. I'm like, I mean, the guy he could do everything except fix the floors properly.
Maybe that's the reason why he's a Ninja Warrior. The floor is loud, like real life for you, not just the game. It's survival. Every morning.
Every morning it is floor is lava. I'm like, can I step here? Can I step here? Can I step?
Damn it. I need another husband.
Our floor is patchwork. It looks like, some 6-year-old has been fixing it up one hole at a time. It's like.
So, is there anything else we could support Sunes with? Brad, Bilal?
No,
One thing that I guess I just thought about when you guys were talking about walking out with stuff is maybe the reason you don't lock your doors because you know that the floor is so fragile, and that anybody that tries to steal something, you know, is just going to get trapped in this device of a floor. I don't know.
Booby trap.
Yeah,
probably a
right.
Sarlacc pit.
Booby trap on paper
wooden
floors.
quicksand.
Anyway.
One of these tiles is paper. You have to guess which one.
It's like the Indiana Jones of Japanese houses. It's like the floor falls, and if you step on this one point, the cat rolls down a toy down the stairs.
man.
The ball
The
goes.
wash tub is rolling down.
Like, no! What?
The wash tub is rolling after them. Any more feedback, you guys?
No.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay,
for your
it's time
support.
to move on. DC, you are up next. Let me know when you're ready to begin, and I will start your time.
All right. So this part is all about my family. I'm not sure if you guys are either a younger kid or older sibling, younger sibling. I got two, a 5-year-old and a 13-year-old. And in my opinion, I believe the younger sibling are bullies in general. Right. And my 5-year-old has gone on. She knows this because her and her older sister, they fight back and forth, right? They tussle. But my 5-year-old, she's tough. She's a gymnast and she's got fast hands and fast feet. So she knows she's not going to get into the shit because we told my oldest one, listen, you're the oldest sibling. You have to protect the youngest one and make sure you cannot hit her. You got to protect her. If you're an older sibling, you know this. But when they're tussling back and forth, every so often, my youngest has this haymaker, just bam, punches my older one right in the tit. She's like, ow, you hurt me. And my youngest, she knows this. She's like, ha, you can't touch me. I got immunity, bitch. I'm like, whoa, hold on a second. Wait. First of all, pull your punches. Second of all, never hit your sister. Third of all, don't even use the word bitch. Third of all, who taught you the word immunity? Then at that moment, I realized we watched way too much Survivor as a family. So my oldest, she knows I do comedy, and she's like, Dad, I want to do comedy like you. Can you teach me comedy? And that's awkward. I'm like, oh gosh. Can we just talk about sex? Can I just teach you about sex? That's less awkward than teaching about comedy. I'm like, no, Dad, no, seriously. I want to do comedy like you, but not exactly like you, because I want to make people laugh. Like, oh shit. Ooh. My daughter shivved me. Like, ooh, that stung. So my response, now, my ego took over. I didn't filter. My ego took over. It's like, oh, that bitch. I didn't say that out loud. That's what I thought. I didn't say that out loud. But unfortunately, my response was untamed. It was like, all right, that's cool. So you want to play, right? Okay. So how about this? Just the record, there's no tooth fairy, there's no Santa Claus, and I may not be your daddy. Boom.
Oh.
How do you like that? Wait, why are you crying? Why are you crying? Okay, don't cry. I'm sorry. You know I'm just playing, right? Okay, don't tell mom. Don't tell mom. Let's just keep this between us. So note for selves, that's how you become a shitty parent. That's a parenting fail. Don't do that. And don't judge me for calling my daughter a bitch. I mean, listen, we don't say it as adults, but I think everybody in this room right now, you think your parents love you unconditionally? No. There's certain times, I can say this honestly, there's certain times that any parent looked at you going, that motherfucker. They wouldn't say it to you, but that's what they're thinking. And I'm saying for the first hand as a parent. And I got no problem saying that because my daughter, my oldest is on 3 strikes. And I can go back and forth this because I have permission from my wife to share this. I can attest to this because back in the day when she was just an infant, okay, my wife actually called her. She said, called her a bitch. I was like, how does this happen? You're a nursing mom. Why would you call your daughter a bitch? Well, because she bit me, right? What? She bit? Yeah. When babies bite, first of all, I'm supposed to just suckling, right? This girl decided to like, right? So if someone bites you on the tit, man or woman, doesn't matter. Your reflex response is to push away. My wife just took her face, bam, almost abuse. I was like, damn. Here's what scared me. She didn't only just call her a bitch to a infant 6-month-old. She said, strike one. Like, damn, I'm not playing with my wife anymore. And to this day, my daughter, she looks at my mom and she looks at me and goes, listen, I ain't playing with my mom anymore. Apparently, I'm on strike 2 now. So I haven't done that in a month, so I need some help with that. Give me some feedback. What's good? What's not good? What resonates? What doesn't resonate?
Feedback.
I'll just say, man, I'm a parent. I got a 4-year-old, man, so I can relate to everything you're saying right now. You know, I don't know if I call him a bitch, but I've definitely called him a motherfucker a few times. You know, but yeah, man.
It's more realistic.
Yeah, and like my wife did breastfeed, and you know he has bitten her like on the tit, like you say, like I mean, and the reactions are the same. So like I mean, that's all solid, man. That's good.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Brad.
Yeah, man.
Awesome.
Sines.
Go ahead, Bilal.
What? I don't like going. Second. All right. Well, I was thinking like of when you're trying to make her cry and you're saying like Santa Claus isn't real and stuff. Like, what's something that like something like mundane, like taxes or something? I feel like I'd throw something like that in there. You know.
Can you explain? Can you elaborate?
I don't know, like when you're a kid, you don't know about taxes or something like extremely disappointing that you find out when you're an adult.
Oh, it's like
the same
being
day
here to
as
our
Santa.
credit score.
Like, yeah, we've taken out 8 loans in your name already.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, community college is in your future. All right, I'm just saying that. Start looking at the right now. All right, I'm just saying. That's a good one, actually. Just make it darker. All right, paint it darker. All right. Anything else? I mean, that's a good suggestion. Since she's 14, I can talk to her like an adult. Like,
right.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad for you.
I just had one other thing that just came to mind, actually, is when you mentioned about like the no tooth fairy, the no Santa Claus, and I might not be your daddy. And you'd be like, I was just joking, but one of those things is actually true. I don't know.
Oh, ouch. All right. I like that. I like that.
That was so funny.
Sines?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, DC. I've got fun stuff to play with.
I was going to say that I haven't done that in 3 years.
Wow.
I haven't done it in a long time. So
wow.
Bring it back.
So this is you're bringing back old material and updating it for yourself.
Yeah.
That's cool. I loved the immunity. I think that was hilarious. The setting up for the big talk. Can I play around this area?
Sure.
It's like, my daughter, she's turned 13 and she started asking me some questions and she says, Daddy, I have some questions. And you're like, oh God, here it comes. It's going to be the day for the talk, how do I approach this? I mean, she knows about she's seen birds and bees in the garden, like where your mind goes in this direction of, the talk. And she says, hey, and we're like, well, darling, so this is how, and you start explaining all this stuff about the birds and the bees. And she's like, no. My question was, how do you do comedy? Like, oh God, that's a conversation I never want to have.
I like that. So create a misdirection. Okay. That works.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody have anything to bounce off that one before I go into the next concept?
No.
Okay.
I like that.
Cool.
I can use that.
Yeah, it's a fun one. I think that's really, especially, that's such a precious age. And you get to use that for the next, 7 years because you've got a 5-year-old as well. So it's not like you'll ever have to give up on that joke.
She'd be 5 for like Lisa Simpson, like 5 forever. I'm gonna use that.
Yeah.
12 years
Actually,
later.
I just thought of
She
something.
could be. Yeah. What's that, Bilal?
Oh, and she said like she wanted to do comedy, what if he just started like traumatizing her, like threw her down some stairs or something?
Okay, give me an example of trauma.
Like I don't know, you like threw her down some stairs or like forgot to pick her up for days or something. It's like, oh, this will be a great joke in 10 years.
Yeah,
Oh man, that's dark.
that is great. I want to bounce off of what Bilal said there too. It's like, the first explanation of comedy is like tragedy plus time is comedy.
It's gonna be
Sort of explain the formula and then continue where Bilal went with it.
yeah. When you get out of the hospital, you can be laughing. You're gonna find the humor in this when your wounds heal up. Sorry about this.
You're gonna find this hilarious in 15 years.
After therapy, you're gonna find it flipping hilarious. I'll tell your mom I push you down the stairs. It'll be our joke. I like that. All right, I like this.
I was curious, like what are the potential? What happens at third strike?
I don't know. I didn't know how to finish it. I didn't know how to end it, or how to extend it. I just kind of stopped off at. You don't want to find out what 3 strikes is. All I know that if you're in certain states in the U.S., 3 strikes is going to jail. 3 strikes with my wife. I don't know what that's going to look like.
Yeah. Do you have does your daughter have a go bag packed and everything ready? Like, she's like, just in case. You're like, what's in your, why do you have 2 school bags? And she's like, one's for school, one's my go bag. Why? Just in case of a strike.
Third strike. Yeah, so I can add on to that third strike bit. So everybody resonates with the 2 strikes. I didn't know how to clean it up. So yeah, I don't know how to close it off. So that's also something I can help with. So now you gave an idea that, man.
Yeah,
You better have
really curious. Like, I mean, that must be so much pressure for your oldest daughter. Like she doesn't even. How does she even remember? I guess that is the beginning of tragedy. Trauma plus time is comedy. She's like starting as an infant. And like, well, you got a good start with the first strike. Let's see how we can make that third strike happen. Who ate my chocolate cake?
Is that a strike? So she's a middle child, but we don't have a middle child. She's acting like a middle child because she's got 2 strikes against her already. First one was biting my wife's tit when she was 6 months old.
Or you could even threaten her and say, "Do you know you're a middle child, right?" And she's like, "What happened to the other one?" Strike. And she's like, nobody needs an elf on a shelf when you've got like the third strike ready to happen. You're like, there was one before me, I'm pretty sure.
So now
the first child is, you remember Carl?
That's smart. My question is that I think I've heard that before, but I want to make sure that I don't step on something that I've heard before.
Oh, I've never heard it.
Yeah,
but okay.
that sounds really familiar. Like as in funny, but shit, I feel so that I can't use that because I think it's stepped on somebody else's. I think that's ready to be used by somebody else. I've heard that. So that's the reason why I was like, oh gosh.
Oh, good for you to respect that. Yeah, I've never heard it, but I think it's kind of funny in my mind.
But so guys, does this have legs?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Especially that comedy bit and the strikes and the it's fun.
So I'll throw in the stairs, trying to make it a bit more kind of like not a misdirection.
Hold on, what if the third strike was like a different than the other 2 on that? Like you guys went bowling or something?
No,
that's too soft. I need
Really?
you need something that it needs something dark.
No, I was thinking like you guys went bowling and she like got a strike and then the mom was like strike 3 and she pulls out a gun and shoots you in the face.
pull the shoe off, starts beating her with it.
No.
You guys go on a family vacation and like mom says you can only take 1 bag and she's like shows up with 2 and she's like, what's this one? Like, just in case. Get a third strike.
Third strike bag.
Third strike bag. It goes with her everywhere.
Yeah, I feel confident I can definitely make it fresher and tie some more stuff into this. So
it's fun.
Cool.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you, Brad.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bilal.
Sweet. No problem. All right, Brad, you're up next. Let me know when you're ready to begin. I will start your time.
All right, man, let's do it. So, guys, I'm going to talk to you about Costco tonight. I'm sure Costco's in a lot of different places. But anyway, so I work at a Costco, so I got a lot of Costco stories. And one of them, I'll just start with this one here, man. I was in the aisle working, and I was breaking down boxes, and I was in where the freezers are. And this guy, he points right at the freezer where the broccoli is, the frozen broccoli, and he says, "That's the broccoli right here, is it?" Like it was a question. There was a question mark at the end of the sentence. And I was thinking to myself, what if I just said no? Like, what would you say? Like, no, that's not the broccoli, man. It's 3 aisles down. Like, yeah, it's fucking broccoli. It's got a picture of broccoli on it. It says broccoli in big bold letters. Why are you asking me about this? I don't know. And another thing that I noticed too is like people like at Costco, they don't just take off the top of the pallet. They gotta go like 3 rows down, 5 to the back, and then like at the end you get a tottering Jenga of eggs that just fall down, and it's ridiculous. I don't understand, man. I don't understand. And speaking of product and pallets, like I don't understand why people like. I've seen product from like one pallet found on the pallet beside it. So the only thing I can think is that somebody picked this up, whatever it was, and they took a step and then decided, no, I'm not gonna have that today. No, I just don't understand. I don't know why people do it. Or better yet, you find like stuff that's not frozen in the freezer, or you stuff that you pick out of the freezer, you find it like just left on a shelf somewhere, so it thaws out and it's no good anymore. Like I don't know, man. It's ridiculous. And I'll tell you, I worked on the entrance. Now with COVID-19, you got certain people going in at certain entrances and leaving at certain exits. And so I was posted there, and I gotta say, one of the most common things that I've heard people say when they come out of the exit, number one is, "Where'd we park the car?" I'm thinking, like, you've only been gone a half an hour. Like you can't remember where you parked the car. Like, I feel like answering for them, be like, it's that way, I think, and just to see if they'll take the bait, because, like, I mean, it's just as well as somebody gets rather than nobody gets. I don't know. And another one, I remember another time, man, I had this guy, and he came up to me, he's like, "I'm looking for Philadelphia cheese." I said, "Are you sure it's Philadelphia cheese? Because I'm pretty sure you're looking for cream cheese." He said, No, it's just regular cheese. And I said, "Well, the regular cheese is over here. I'll take you to it." And I said, "Worst case scenario, the cream cheese is right beside it." So I took him. And I said, "Here's the cheese." And he's like, "No, that's not what I'm looking for." So I went to the cream cheese. I said, "Is this what you're looking for?" I took it off the shelf and I showed it to him. I said, "Philadelphia right on the top." He's like, "Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. It says cream cheese right here underneath Philadelphia." Like, I don't know, man. Some people just makes, I don't know, you just gotta scratch your head. I don't understand. Anyway, I got tons of stuff, but I feel like I'm just rambling at this point, so I'm gonna stop there.
We still got 2
So-
minutes, man. Go. All right. Yay, sweet.
So
You guys have
it's a cross between a ramble and a rant, because there's some truth to this. Like, shit, this is like right now therapeutic, so to speak. Right, like, let me get this shit out so I can't do this stuff at work. When you were talking about I love the broccoli bit, just being sarcastic and being deadpan, like, actually no, it's not broccoli, and so that kind of set the tone as to what the rest of the set's going to be, the rest of the bit's going to be, and just preface it. I think it'd be great just to preface that, hey, I know almost everybody loves Costco, but preface that you're one of the people that you work there, but you don't love it, even though that you do. But preface them with your disdain for your job, despite the fact that we love it, you hate it because of all these characters, and then now you get these examples. Right, so you start to create an extreme feeling as to how you feel about it. Makes sense. Yeah. When you're talking about the when a person walks one aisle, one box, one crate over and leaves one, those are small fillers that don't really have as much. It's more of an observation,
Right.
as opposed to everything else you mentioned. Like, there's a feeling, there's an attitude, there's disdain. yeah, a little
Right.
bit of frustration, drops something one over, right? But when you talk about someone dropping a non-frozen food item in a frozen food section or a frozen food item in the regular aisle, if you can create an example or a metaphor of something real life, like you don't take a child and say, "Oh my goodness, this is not my child," and then leave him in front of the school, like, all right. Or you don't adopt a child and go, I changed my mind, and then leave him in front of the doorstep of the orphanage. Like, I don't know, like you can play around with something like that, using a metaphor. And the only last thing I can have to add in would be suggest is that when you're talking about the cars and people losing the cars and they can't find the cars and you just messing around them, maybe that's the reason why Costco sells cars. Because one of these days, somebody's like, listen, if you can't find your car, we got an Outback right here on sale, 30% off MSRP. Since you're here, might as well buy a car. Just that's why Costco sells cars, because there's some people who just can't find the car when they leave the store.
That's funny.
But what if since it's Costco, it's like a 20-pack of cars?
Can I get my cars in bulk, please?
Yeah, right.
So,
Funny.
If you can't find your car, you can find one on the bulk car lot.
yeah. Just
But you got to tow them all behind each other to get home.
Right.
Caution, curves ahead.
Yeah. Funny.
I love that.
get him on the car to son of a bitch, though. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's hilarious, Bilal. I love that. I love that. I love the pallet Jenga.
Right.
Pallet Jenga. That's funny. I think I agree. Get into there, like, it's like people are playing. People are playing games when they come to Costco, and for me personally, Brad, I hate puzzles. Like, puzzles are the thing that I hate. One of the things I hate the most, and DC knows about my trauma behind puzzles. But Jenga is one of those things as well, because it's a puzzle. You have to figure out which pieces, and inevitably as kids, we were missing pieces of everything. But pulling items out in order to not have it fall into a pile of rubble.
Mm.
Like, it went from having like a toilet paper to a pile of rubble.
Right.
Like, what are things that would fall down that are absolutely ridiculous? The more specific, the better. Like, what are some things that people have played like human Jenga with? And yeah, it's like that moment where you have like the epic, and it's your job, right? Jenga is a game for people who have stamina and strength and determination and a Costco membership card.
Hilarious.
As you pull the pieces out, and like, your job as a person who restocks everything is to become the Jenga master, which is why nobody invites you over for family game night anymore.
Right.
It's because you're like, ha, I can do this one. And you're like, challenge me some more.
Hey, so go on.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, with regards to why people pulling out stuff on the toilet paper, it's like they're trying to find that golden ticket.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
no
man.
golden ticket in toilet paper. There's no golden ticket in the stack. They're all the bloody same. Like, I mean, so once again, these frustrations and rants, but people are just hoping maybe there's a lucky toilet paper. No, it's all the same. There's no Willy Wonka toilet paper brand here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's like they're pulling things out, but these are the only people with a Costco membership are people who don't know how to pull out.
Oh,
That's a good one. That's nice. I like that one.
That's the reason why you're shopping in bulk, people. You're obviously bad at this game.
People shop at Costco don't know how to pull out. I like that.
And it extends all the way to the parking lot. Like,
yeah. Mhm.
Still not pulling out.
I love that part where you tell them, has that ever happened? Like, have you ever told people like where they parked and they actually followed your direction? I'm pretty
In my
sure I saw
head.
you coming from over there. Parking lot E. And they
Yeah.
they're
Oh,
like
man.
walking towards E. Yeah. It's the sign over there. Do you see the E? And they start walking. They're like, there's no parking lot E. They just keep on walking. Like, where's the E?
Yeah.
I parked in Goofy.
Right. Truth be told, man, I want to actually do a set where I have like almost like a Family Feud, and you just like pull the things out, like the top 10 things that I hear when people leave. And of course, like where I parked the car would be number one, but I don't know what the rest would be yet. But
Yeah, how do I fit the bulk pack of Doritos inside the back of the station wagon without crushing the chips even
Right.
more? Because
Yeah.
those bags are inevitably like they're full and they're like kind of full of air. I don't understand how they're full of air and still inevitably half the chips are crushed.
For sure.
Like
Yeah,
you
they
think
collapse
air
in it.
would be protective.
Yeah, you'd think, but you've probably never stocked potato chips at Costco, man. I'm telling you, it's ruthless
I
in there.
don't play Jenga. That's the
No.
thing. I would not be an ideal Costco employee because my absolute hatred of puzzles.
So Brad, you're expressing all these things that are observations, what you see from your perspective.
Yeah.
Also including how you. Well, here's what you would love to hear. I'd love to hear what you would love to say in that moment to that person.
Philadelphia. Okay, great. Okay, Philadelphia. Go down this aisle, straight out the door, and about 349 kilometers south
Yeah.
on I-95, you'll eventually run into Philadelphia.
Hey, your car.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
dude,
can buy
my car got stolen, man. I'm sorry about that. Your car got stolen.
Your car got
I couldn't
Somebody
stop.
picked it up on their back and just walked off in your car.
Fifth time this week. I mean, they just like your type of car. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What is it? The Matrix car that they stole? They stole the Toyota Matrix car. Like, what
Was
is
it a
this
Matrix?
Costco parking lot? The Matrix?
That's funny.
I love the idea of them, like, directing them. Because if the guy is so insistent that it's Philadelphia cheese, and you're like, there's no such thing as just Philadelphia cheese. It is Philadelphia cream cheese. He's like, no, it's Philly cheese. And you're like, all right, go straight out the door.
Yeah.
And I was born in Philadelphia, from East Philadelphia, born and raised. On the playground is where I spent most of my days. There are no cows in Philadelphia. What kind of cheese is that? Like,
Oh my God.
seriously. I mean, what
Jeez.
kind of cheese is that going to be? No wonder they made cream cheese. They're like, well, I got no cows around here, but we got some really old milk in the fridge.
Yeah.
I
What
stole
if
from
it's,
Sonesta's house.
What are you looking for, like Philly cheese steak?
Mm.
Mm. Oh yeah, full of cheesesteak is so good. Mm.
Is this part of the bit? Is this something that the person would be looking for?
I was
Or
looking for Philadelphia cheese. Or you forgot the steak part. It's like, oh
Mm.
wait.
Oh, I love it. I love how you'd have to apply to get a job at Costco by your engineering skills. Like how well you can fill in the pallets. Like,
Right.
we do spatial reasoning. You have to take instead of taking an SAT, you have to take like sort of like an engineering IQ test to see how would you maximize this space. If you have a grid with like 5 up and 3 down, how would you fit these objects in it? It's harder to get a job at Costco based on that testing than it is to get a job at Google.
yeah,
Hilarious, actually. I like
if you
that.
can if you can master Tetris, you can master working at Costco.
For sure.
Yeah,
Mm.
Any more feedback, you guys?
I just think it's fun. I think Costco's hilarious.
Costco.
Yeah. So
Costco.
yeah, just the rant. Everybody can relate to Costco. Of course, it's global. Even Japan has Costco, right? England has Costco, so it's pretty universal.
Right.
just
paint more of your feelings, like the things that I think what you wish to say, but can't.
Do you take? Sorry, I have a question. DC, pardon to interrupt. I have a question about the frozen veggies. Like, you take the frozen broccoli, they just drop down these like random place. Oh, I decided I don't like, after making your way down the freezer section, which is the worst section of the department of the entire Costco, because it's cold. Like,
Yeah.
it's not just cold because the air conditioning is cold, but it's cold because people stand there with the doors open. So like, you have to like borrow a Costco Winter Parker just to make your way through the freezer aisle. And you're like, and you're like, I'm determined. I'm gonna get the frozen broccoli. And you're like, ooh, and you take out the broccoli, and you're like, somehow you managed your way through the frozen tundra of Costco, and then you get the frozen broccoli. You're like, I've achieved greatness, like climbing up Mount Everest. And you get out of that aisle, and somehow they decide, oh, I don't really want frozen broccoli, and they just put it down in the toy section. And you come along, and you're like, well, this frozen broccoli is no longer frozen. And then, like, do you take it out of its package and put it in like the produce section, like fresh broccoli? Like,
Yeah, right.
these items, and do you take like the frozen ice cream that's no longer frozen and like stick it in the yogurt section, and like strawberry flavored fresh yogurt?
Yeah, Brad, I used to work in Sam's Club. And so there's some items that you couldn't put back on the shelf that they've just put to the employees' room that we used to eat because you can't, either the package is torn.
Right.
So I'm sure that at some point in time that you guys say, man, I'm sick and tired of eating broccoli for lunch, man.
Right.
Can't somebody take something else? Fuck.
Yeah.
Can't somebody else return something? Okay. Pickles. What the so you'd wish that people return the items they like enjoy, but they don't return those type of items. So they end up in your break room.
Mm.
Yeah, because you guys have stop loss. That's
Yeah.
not waste. Yeah, but I don't want to eat asparagus tips. I don't know fresh. I don't care if it's organic. I don't be smell like piss all the time.
It's hilarious.
Asparagus.
So like the customers go into the restroom and they're like, why does it smell so?
Yeah.
Because all the employees have been eating frozen asparagus tips for like the entire week.
So nothing goes to waste. Hey, let's give it to the employees. They got to eat it.
That's so funny because in Japan, the employees would never get to eat it. It would just end up getting thrown out.
Yeah,
Wow.
and that's the same way it is actually at our Costco. Like they don't give anything away to anybody. It's either destroyed or sent back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
DC's like, gone are the days
And
of the
that's-
night.
And that's why Costco is still standing and Sam's Club is closing down because we used to eat a lot of shit.
That was hilarious.
Sam's Club is closing.
Well, they shut down a lot of the centers. So this one just down the street from me that's no longer standing on its own. So Costco.
Michigan,
Costco
we just got a BJ's. I was like, I didn't know about that. They existed outside of New York.
yeah, I've been to BJ's too, man. I'm familiar with that. Upstate New York. I used to remember that.
Yeah.
The name
Any
kills
more
me, by the way.
feedback?
So
Any
So
more
Brad, that was
feedback,
fun about
you guys?
Costco.
Yeah, thank you.
Costco.
love Costco.
Yeah. Okay, I guess it's my turn now. Here we go. I hope I don't really like pears. Like pears are just nasty to me. I don't know if anyone here is a pear enthusiast, but it's just kind of gross because apples exist and apples are way better than pears. I don't see what the use for pears is. The only way I would voluntarily eat a pear is if I threw it at somebody and it killed them. I need to get rid of the evidence. Like about a couple weeks ago, I had a show in Ohio and I was driving back. And on the way back, like I ran over a dead deer. I was like driving and I looked on the ground. I saw like a trail of blood. And I was like, oh shit, I love blood. But mostly I just love my own blood, Like I'm not saying like I don't want to sound like a narcissist. I love all of your blood too. It's just like I know where my blood has been, But yeah, anyway, there's this trail of blood and I ran over this dead deer and I was like, man, I don't know why do deer always want to be in the road? Do they see like horses like pulling people and they're like, oh, we could do, they run in the street like, hey, humans ride us, and all of a sudden they're rolling over a car. But yeah, roads are really dangerous. Then someone told me about Rhode Island.
Oh my
And I
God,
was
someone
like,
just told me about that this week.
yeah, it sounds really, really dangerous though, Like who would want to live on a whole island made of just roads? Like that'd be scary. Like you're just walking, and then all of a sudden you just run over by a car. And they were like, "Oh no! It's that's the place between like the two lanes with the grass and stuff." And I was like, "Oh, okay, that makes way more sense." I hope I don't ever get famous Because I feel like if you're famous, then you'd have to worry about like time travel shenanigans. Because no one's gonna come back in time and just mess with some random person. But if you're famous, you could have just people like popping out of portals and running up and punching you in the crotch, and then like someone runs up like, "Hey, are you the guy who invented the retard helmet?" And you're like, "No, I'm Francis Bacon." And they punch you anyway, and they disappear. Like I looked up, I thought Canadian bacon was weird, but I looked up Francis Bacon, and there's a picture of a guy, like a human. And guys, I think the French might be cannibals. We should probably do something about that. Mhm. Oh yeah, I went to a gun store the other day to buy a shotgun, and did you know they stopped giving you the dipping sauce for free? Like when I was a kid, they would just hand you a cup of sauce, but now they want to charge you an extra 89 cents for some sauce. And what is this world coming to? People are just like so greedy now. It's disgusting. It's awful. Yeah. Um. Oh yeah, I don't like. I'm a pretty introverted person. I don't like talking to people a lot, and most people suck. So it's probably a good move. But then I started talking to people more, and I realized that a lot of people are actually pretty interesting if you get to know them. And if they're not, you can make them interesting with knives. Plus, you'd probably be doing them a favor, like they would never have to worry about how they would start a conversation. They could just walk up and be like, "Hey, you want to see my dagger hole?" And people are like, "No, no, sir, please put that away." And be like, "What? You don't want to look into my sticky, gaping dagger hole?" I think it might be infected, guys. I'm kind of worried. I'm worried about my dagger hole. All right, I'm done. Thanks, guys. Do you have any feedback?
Yo, the apple and pear bit is stupid funny. Didn't see that coming. Yeah, it's
Okay.
yeah, that's a strong one. I didn't see that coming. I was lost on the shotgun.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
didn't get that
didn't
either.
get that connection at all. Dipping
That was a
sauce shotgun.
suicide joke.
Yeah, that's a couple of too much thinking involved to really understand to be on the same page.
Okay.
All right.
I would love to go back and explore famous time travel worries. Because I think that it's an interesting concept, when you go back, like not just like the punch in the crotch bit, but I think there's something there about like when you see a movie about time travel, they always go back and they go back and visit Rosa Parks, or they go back. I'm thinking of Doctor Who episodes right now. I'm like, who did they go back in time to see? Winston Churchill, like they go back and see really interesting people who've made their mark on society. It's not just famous people. They go back and try to like alter how how the world has changed or bettered since that time, or gotten worse since that time. So who is it they go back and visit? People who've made an impact. So they'll impact people who've made a positive impact, or they go back and like visit Hitler, who's made a negative impact. So where would you fall on that spectrum?
That's up for debate, honestly.
That's what?
That's debatable. But continue.
Yeah. I think that's a really interesting premise, though. The time travel worries, like your mom, mom asks, like, what have you, where people ask, especially around the new year, like, what legacy do you want to leave on Earth? And you're like, I don't want to leave a legacy. I just don't. Then I have to worry about time travel and people coming back in time to, like, what's going to happen to Bezos? Like, I can just imagine, it's 2021. And then suddenly somebody comes back from the future and is like, I'm going to take down Bezos. Something like that.
I mean, he probably is a time traveler, honestly.
Probably is. I mean, he just like, yeah. Why is he a time traveler?
So Bill, when you mentioned about the time travel, you talk about people going back into the past and saying like mistaken, getting punched in the nuts for a mistaken identity. Hey, did he make that movie? Yeah, bah! Right, and running off. Shit, I hate it. Like kind of like a Tebow response. I don't know. All right, so you're suggesting is that getting mistakenly punched or going back in time and people actually no, that's good. That's a good premise because you can be ridiculous, you can be absurd. I say go be more absurd with that. All right, be just go further down that real extreme hyperbole with that.
Okay.
All right, because everybody talks about Hitler and time travel. Yeah, that's been there, done that. Do something even more unpredictable than just the whole, if you go back in time and kill Hitler, what's going to change type of thing.
I killed like Genghis Khan.
Like, or maybe if you were a time traveler, you wouldn't go back and you wouldn't attack the ones that you think you would, right? Like you would go back and kick somebody or punch somebody who made a bad movie or like who put out the worst. Like what was the second album about? Like I really liked you two until this point or whatever.
Like the person directed the second Star Wars trilogy, Return of the Jedi, just I don't know. Face. But Ryan Reynolds already did that too when he did Deadpool 2. So.
Oh, he did? What did he do?
Oh, he punched himself. He killed himself for writing Green Lantern or for participating in Green Lantern. So it's just a play on the whole time travel bit and things he should have corrected. So.
I also like the idea of the French cannibals. It may need a little bit of an extra link. You seem to have a lot of really intelligent references that kind of fly over. Who is the Bacon reference in the French?
Francis Bacon.
Francis Bacon.
Is that a deep cut?
Yeah, that's deep. That's really deep.
You're always coming up with these things like, I need a doctorate to follow some of your stuff. You're like, well, we're talking about the turgid plague.
Francis Bacon, but you don't know Jimmy Buffett. That's one thing I just confounds me.
Francis Bacon. I know the name. Take me on a tour again.
Sir Francis Bacon.
English philosopher and statesman. Oh, the scientific method. Okay, of course. Leave it up to Bilal to bring up all the scientific terminology today. I love that. I love being here and learning so much.
I thought he was the guy who made the Muppet. Oh, wait, no, I was thinking of Jim Henson. My bad.
Francis Bacon, the founder of the scientific method. That's where I heard it. It's been so long since I've heard that name. I was like, I know that from somewhere.
Was it the Muppets? No, it wasn't the Muppets. Damn it.
It was the guy who came up with reasoning.
It's not the Muppets. Not the Muppets. Could have sworn it's Muppets.
Going all the way from unreasonable the Muppets to reasoning with Sir Francis Bacon.
Did Jim Henson come up with scientific reasoning? That sounds familiar.
That is scientific reasoning. Ergo, Francis Bacon.
Dating ourselves.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm hot. I get to date myself. Oh, you mean prior to getting married? Okay.
Oh, dating. All dating you'll be doing is carbon dating. All right.
Oh, jeez.
Again, another Sir Francis Bacon reference.
Bilal, is anything of this resonating with you, or are you just hoping to stick with you? Like, which shit's going to stick on this wall? Which one's going to slide down? I mean,
I don't know. That's for time to decide. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Francis Bacon is a stretch. It's smart, but it takes a second. It's a delayed, Think 'em
It's a
out.
delayed
So
in a Google search.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
it's a delay laugh. You may have to sit if you're going to use something like that. Make sure that you sit on the delivery until they get it. And if they don't get it right away, you got to have something that lets them to acknowledge that connection. So like, have something in place to acknowledge the fact that they don't get that literary reference or that scientific reference. Because looking at you, that'd be the last thing that a lot of people would expect to come from Sir Francis Bacon, which is a contradiction on its own. Because Jimmy Buffett, yeah, I'd expect you not to know that, but I would not expect you to be familiar with Francis Bacon, especially coming from Detroit.
I guess.
I don't know, DC. Like some of the most,
Stereotypically, of course.
I have a friend from Detroit who became she's a doctor, so I do expect her to,
Yeah. She's going to.
She's got a great story. She's really got to give a talk about it. Growing up as not her auntie May, but her real mom May was turning tricks
Oh my god.
Oh,
in a crack house, all the way to becoming a doctor. I thought that she's got an amazing story. So yeah, I think that's. But I do think actually, wait, let's go back to that French cannibals. Which would be within reason. If you tagged it with that, maybe somebody who is in high school science class or teaching high school science class might get it. It's like, like we have Canadian bacon, which I thought was, Canadian bacon is bacon versus Canadian bacon versus, the French bacon. I thought they were cannibals, which is within reason. Scientific reasoning, whatever, it doesn't work. Anyways, it's smart. I think it's smart. I just don't know how to make the connection yet.
the Francis Bacon and French bacon is a close, but it's not close enough. Like it's now that we're explaining it, it's funny as hell. Like now it makes sense to us, but within a set and within like 2-3 seconds, how do you make that connection between Francis bacon and French bacon? It's a bit of a leap.
I think it's Francis with like an apostrophe.
Yeah, but it sounds the same.
Yeah.
French bacon.
And technically, he
French
was
bacon.
British. He was from the UK, which
Francis
makes
bacon.
sense if you go back and make a reference to
Oh, yeah. Okay, Francis bacon. Yeah, okay, got it. Yeah, you just That's-
Maybe if I said Canada's bacon instead of Canadian.
that's it. Canada's bacon, Francis bacon, Canada's bacon. Yeah, I think that would make a better connection.
Hmm.
If
Which
you use,
Go ahead.
if you say Canada's bacon, then you can say Francis bacon. When we think of Canada's bacon, automatically a person can think, oh yeah, Canadian bacon. But when you think of Francis bacon, now literally it's Francis bacon. I think that's a connection that's missing. So just changing the Canadian, using Canadian to Canada's bacon.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say that I don't know. It has no bearing on much, but when I hear Canadian bacon, I immediately think of that comedian that died. Man, what was his name?
John Candy.
Yeah.
Yeah, John Candy. He's got a
There's
great
John
movie.
Candy.
Anyway, I don't know. That's just me being Canadian, I guess.
R.I.P. Hey,
So
Brad, you
Frank-
Canadian?
Yes, man.
Where you at?
I'm in Newfoundland now, but I was born in Ontario.
Oh, snap. You're in the better part of the country. All right.
Yeah, I guess.
No wonder you're doing comedy. You have no choice. You're in Newfoundland. It's like, fuck.
Man, there's only 2 comedy nights out here. This is crazy.
Man. Oh, everybody's funny in Newfoundland.
Yeah, right?
Hey, so Bilal, Sunest, got anything else to add that we can feed and we can support Bilal with? Brad?
Yeah. So so Francis Bacon, which takes you back to Within Reason, which takes you back to, well, technically it's not Francis Bacon because he's actually from the UK, which brings us back to the apples and pears. Francis Bacon was the type who probably couldn't have made it up the apples and pears, which stands for couldn't make it up the flights of stairs. I think it's what's Cockney English for apples and pears are the blah, 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 and stairs. They do rhyming slang in Cockney English. Anybody with me?
No. Sorry,
No.
Sunest.
It's
That's-
Cockney slang.
The only Cockney I know about is too painful to recollect.
Mhm. That's funny.
So yeah, I miss that Cockney slang, but like I can't connect to that Cockney slang.
Apples and pears. You know what I'm talking about?
I feel embarrassed the fact that I don't know enough English literature to make that any connection to that reference. So I'm not.
He hasn't made it up. The apples and pears. Oh, the phrase is steps and stairs. It's Cockney for steps and stairs. The apples and pears, because they do Cockney slang, which is rhyming.
Cool.
Bilal, just from your expression, like.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm projecting myself, I guess, at the sky. Any more feedback, you guys?
Oh.
Cool,
Nah.
cool. Okay, now this is the part where if you have any social media, any podcasts, or if you want to say the N word, you do it. SNS, you're up first. Do you have anything?
All right. I'm Instagram, Siness Stevens. That's
All right.
3 S's in the middle,
All right.
not just all of them all together. That's 5 S's. It's SONESSSTEVENES. As it's spelled.
Cool. DC?
All right. So on Instagram, I'm DCDECEE_comedy, or on YouTube, my postings at DC Comedy, so one or the other. DC Comedy, easy to find. Oh, and Instagram handle. I'm sorry, no, Twitter handle DC Comedy, one word, DEECE Comedy. So check it out. Follow along.
Cool. Last but not least, Bad Brad.
And I'm just on Facebook, Bad Brad Comedy on Facebook. That's me.
Awesome. Well, this concludes another thrilling episode of the workshop. Bye.